This is the February team reveal. Let's go. I will be selecting this team in the only order you should, starting with the players I believe are must-haves. The first of which is Caleb Daniel, who is the single biggest must-have in the game. That halfback role at North is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, role in the game. This leaves Daniel with a potential 50 or more points of value, meaning there should be 0 competitive teams that don't feature him. The second player who should be in every team is Bailey Smith, who too presents an insane amount of value. He has every chance to move his average over the million mark this year, so being priced under 600k is genuinely outrageous. So he's in. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm now on Instagram at the Tactical Sub. I'll be posting a little bit, just letting you know when videos are coming out, some mini team reviews and stuff, and just any other news like injuries and that. So if you want to go follow later, that would be awesome. Either way, the next player is Clayton Oliver. I don't know if you guys have seen the training footage of him this preseason, but oh my, he looks like a beast. I tried getting my hands on some of the footage, but unfortunately I couldn't without risking copyrights. But yeah, we knew he was crazy underpriced. The only thing that could cause us to not pick him is if he looked slow and unfit. But he looks quite the opposite. Prime Clary might just be back in 2025. Another one I know that I'll be starting is Coleman, who offers heaps of value. He's super cheap, and even though he has the early buy, with the best 18 format, a player of his price point won't have too much negative impact. I don't see any valid reasons why someone wouldn't pick him. Another defender must-have is Jaden Short, I think. He's not huge value, like some of the others I've just mentioned, but looking at the lineup of defenders we have this year, he is one of the best and most reliable picks. I think he'll average just under a ton, which doesn't put him far off the top echelon. I'll chuck Jack McRae into the forward line now because he should be plenty of value, and there just aren't any other standout options now that Philippou has been ruled out with the stress fracture. I understand people are concerned about him due to his poor last few seasons, but a rejuvenated McRae at a new club will be great. Realistically, it's about 20 points of upside, which is more than enough for me. I want to chuck the mid-priced Crows boys into the midfield, but I want to play around with the structure, so I'll hold off. Once you've got the mid-prices, next you get the rookies that you need. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly what rookies are best just yet, but we have a rough idea. In the forward line, we want Elijah Hewitt, and he can go on field. We also want Dan Curtin and Isaac Kako on the bench. These aren't locked in or anything, but as of what we know right now, these seem to be the rookies to pick. In the midfield, Levi Ashcroft and Sam Draper are absolute must-haves. These guys have put up some huge numbers in their leagues, and we should get some nice scores out of them should we choose to field them. I'm not sure about Sam Lalore. Someone in the comments told me he was injured, but I haven't seen that anywhere. I'll get him for now, because he's like the same price as Finn O'Sullivan anyway. I've also got Jagger Smith in there, and then in the utility I'll put Josh Smilly for now. To the backline, Saad El Howley is the one I'm most keen on. He's a mature-aged rookie at 23 years old, and I've seen some clips of him playing, and I tell you what, he looks pretty damn good. I think he's averaged like 95 in whatever league it was, so he's also a very capable fantasy scorer. Bo Allen is one who's been talked about a lot as a good option, so he's in. I'd kind of like to start like a Josh Gibcus or Zach Reed, but for now, I'll go with the more popular Toby Travaglia, who will be playing on the wing at St Kilda, as far as I've heard. Then for the Ruck rookie, and I'll go with the Saints guy. Harry Boyd, I think it is. So that's like the pillar or the base of the team, I guess. There's no crazy picks there, and these guys will be in pretty much every single competitive team. So with that out of the way, we can get into the really important part, and the part that sets you apart from others. Picking your premiums and more unique mid-prices. So the first person I'm going to be selecting now is Adam Serra. He is someone I'm really keen on, and if Walsh is still affected by injury, he'll take a further step up at Carlton. But even if not, I reckon there is heaps of value here. He's only priced at 72, having averaged 97 before, I see him as someone who can easily average triple figures, and honestly, I don't know why he's only owned by 4% because he's a great option and one I'm super keen on. In the forward line, there's one I'm pretty interested in picking, and it's not the F1, it's Riley Sanders, who will slot in between Smith and McRae. When I was talking about him in my mid-prices video, I realised how good of an option he could be. Priced at 60, and he could very comfortably average over 80 and beyond. Not as good as Philippou probably, but still a very serviceable replacement. I'll go and pick my number one defender now. I know this team reveal is a bit all over the place, but I think this is the best way to pick a team. Anyway, I want Bailey Dale as my most expensive defender. Something you'll notice in this video is in this team iteration, I'm really hunting for value. So I don't want to settle with a safe option like Sinclair because I could use that money elsewhere to make money quickly. Dale is priced at 92, and I think he has the potential to get over triple figures, maybe even close to, or in the top 6. Dale is a really good player, and as I said in the underpriced premiums video, he should be dealing with a lot less competition this year, particularly with taking kick-ins. I'll go ahead and put Peatling in now. Cumming will almost certainly come in a sec, but I want to build this team the right way. So Peatling is a must-have. More so than Isaac, I think. Priced at 60 and capable of averaging high 90s or even above, that is way too much value to pass up. I now have 8 spots left with a bit over 7 million to work with. I now need to address the rucks because that will determine the structure and my final few picks. You will notice that my rucks set me apart from other teams because I've taken a bit of a different approach to it. Just before I get to them, thanks for 500 subscribers, but if you aren't subscribed, please do so now because we are setting our sights on 1,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can get there before the mid-season buys. So then, the rucks. I was really keen on Marshall over Zeri recently, but then, with the injury now, we can't go there. A lot of people will be going Zeri and a mid-pricer, but in the top ruck spot, I'm going with Tim English. I wasn't keen on this pick at all, but when I talked about him in my last video, I realised how good of a pick it actually may be. I could pick Zeri, but there's no value there. He might even drop a bit. English, on the other hand, offers a realistic value of 5 to 10 points. With this pick, I save 100,000 and will probably only miss out on a couple points each week. The only reason I'd rather start Zeri is as a captain option, so this is the most likely change to happen. But for now, English is in my team. Then the other ruck is Tom de Koning. I was keen on Jordan Sweet for a bit, but I've gone off him. I think Tom is a great pick, because it's very clear where his extra points could come from. He and Mark Pittonet had the same amount of hitouts last year, and I don't expect Pittonet to be playing nearly as much this year. So there's already a fair few points there. He also only played 75% time on ground, so if he can get that up to 80 or even 85, there's even more points of value there. It's not just speculation. There is a lot of logic saying that Tom de Koning should average over 100 this year. So I now have just over 5 million left, and I've just remembered I forgot someone who I definitely want to start. He is Kane Farrell. Farrell seems the most likely candidate to receive Houston's halfback role at Port, which could be very positive for his scoring. I'm not ready to call him a lock just yet though, because I also have my eyes on Logan Evans, and maybe even Ryan Burton, who are in the same boat as Farrell. This role will be one of the most important watches over the preseason. I'll put in some more midfielders now, and I can comfortably say that I won't be having 3 rookies on field here, because this is where the best value picks are. There's a lot of people I want, but you can't have them all. Connor Rozee is one that I do want to start. He's priced just under the million, so at that price point, I'm just deciding between him and Tim Taranto, but as of right now, I think Connor is the better option. Priced at 97, I think he'll average around 105, maybe just a bit under. A safe pick with enough value, I think. The final pick in the back line, and I will put Callum Mills in for now. I think we need to be careful with this pick though, because it could be dangerous to treat him as a must-have. Mills obviously shows a potential for a huge amount of value, but his role is also very unsure and he hasn't scored well for a while now. Just make sure that you are actually seeing some good signs from him this preseason. There's a few other options around his price like Burton, Evans, Perryman, and even Weddle, who I'm kind of keen on. So, yeah, just make sure. I have a heap of cash left, so I will get myself a good captain option now. It's between Jordan Dawson and Andrew Brayshaw for me, and right now, I'm going with Brayshaw. I think it's a safer pick because Dawson's role is less sure. Brayshaw also has an awesome run to start the year. Now we are down to one of the biggest decisions I have to make. Do I go with Cumming or another mid-pricer like Will Day or Sam Doherty? All of them pose value, and Cumming is the one who shows the most. The problem is, with limited midfield spots, I also want to have a lot of players who will score highly, so it is a difficult balance. Whatever option I choose, I'll probably still go with Shea Bolton or Jai Simpkin in the forward line, and they are at a similar price. I'll do that now, I guess. I'm still leaning towards Simpkin because I think he will have more midfield time and has averaged well in the past. So now, I could go with Day and use up my salary very nicely, or I could go with Cumming and give myself some extra cash or wiggle room. And if I did this, I could get an English up to a Zeri or something because I am lacking captain options. So after all of that, I'm just going to go with the popular picks and get Cumming in. Then I'll use the extra cash to get Zeri in. This still leaves me with 100,000 to make adjustments with. I'm pretty happy with the team, although I would probably like one more unique, especially because Sanders is now highly owned since Philippou went down. I guess 4 players under 5% is alright though. Let me know what's different in your team.